Hey, what's up? It's Witzel, and welcome back to Timberborn. In our last video, we built this wonderful little dam here, which is going to hold back a bunch of water and provide us with our reservoir for the future. We also did expand a little bit on our houses. We grew our population up to a total of 45 at the moment. And we also built this industrial area down here. Towards the end of the video, I realized that this water wheel and the one that was right behind it were not spinning. So I did it a little bit in between episodes. So I have a couple things that I'm going to plan on building. As you can see, there's a bunch more water wheels here. I'm going to move this back one, and I think once all that is done, I'm going to wind up moving this water wheel back into this empty space right here. I think that might just help. I'm not sure if it was just a glitch or what's going on with the water flow, but we'll try that. If not, we can get rid of it because we have plenty of water wheels now. I did also just expand a little bit on our water storage, which isn't probably going to be ready for this drought, but at least for the next one, we'll have an extra 150 water, which is fantabulous. So we're going to go ahead and get started. As you can see in the top right, our drought is about 1 day away at this point, as the game is notifying me. It doesn't look like this is going to wind up getting high. I didn't realize just how much water volume is going to be behind this dam, so it's been going for a few days. I don't think it's going to reach that one in the course of a day. So we got about 450 water. We'll hopefully get all this pumped. Let me open these up actually, just for hopes that they'll be done and we can get a little extra water. And I'm going to increase the working hours to 24 hours just for this day. Basically just so we can stockpile up on water. It will mean that our little beavers will go through a little bit more water, but as you can see, we're already starting to store a little bit of water. So if we just get the 5 of these built real quick, we'll be able to get full up on water, hopefully push into the 500, 550 water range, which should be enough to get us through the dry season. And hopefully it's not a super long one, because that could be a problem if it's, 7, 8, 9 days. But we'll figure that out. So looks like we already have this water wheel built, so I'm going to just connect that up onto our existing grid. I am going to make a T-junction here, just so that way we can put in power connecting into this in the future in the form of windmills, which I'll probably wind up getting started this episode, assuming things go as planned. Alrighty, so let's just prioritize these real quick so we can get the water spinning. And then with that, assuming this water wheel works, which I don't know that everything's going to be ready by the time the dry season is, I'm going to delete this, try to move it back one and see if that fixes anything. But it looks like at this point we're just going to have to wait until the next wet season in order to get some extra power. Because as I was saying in the last episode, the one water wheel, it will supply 180 horsepower, but all 4 of these combined need a total of 200 to run at max efficiency. So we're just a little bit less. That just means they're going to be running a little bit slower than they otherwise would. And as the dry season is just about upon us, we are hovering right at 550 water, so right where I wanted us to be. So let's just knock this back down to 16 hours. And we're good. We will do the usual. Just go ahead and pause these two just right off the rip and see if how long this is going to be. Hopefully not too long, because I don't know how 5 days, that's perfect. We'll be able to survive that. So I'm going to just go ahead and shut that off. One water pump with the 530 water that we currently have should be enough. And by the time the dry season is over, we should have all of this built, because I don't think I have anything else. No, I do not. So we'll be able to get all this built and going for the next wet season, which also means we can probably think about, where is my wood tab? If we have enough science, which we do, we have 128. So I'm going to unlock the gear workshop. So the gear workshop, it turns planks into gears. Gears are useful for a few different things. So the higher end buildings need them. So the paper mill, which is used to make either books or explosives, as well as beehives, which I will do later on. But beehives basically, you place them down and they fertilize the area a little bit more, makes the yield a little bit higher in the crops. So yeah, gears are great for that, and then they are also fantastic for this large water tank, which will hold 300 water as opposed to the standard 30. So, and it's in a 2x3, so it takes up 6 tiles, but it will store a lot more water than we can fit in there otherwise. And our trees are still growing. I am actually going to go ahead and open this up real quick, just to give us an extra 6 beavers that should be born by the time this season is over. I am not that worried about the water consumption over the next couple days because, yeah, assuming they even get born, which they probably won't before the wet season starts up again, they're not going to be using much water because the infants don't consume all that much. So, in addition to this couple things that I had down here, I was thinking about creating a little bridge or something over here to platform on down and start just building what I want our residential area to be. So, because I don't really like the look of this, so I think we can definitely work on upgrading it. And thinking about that, actually, I'm gonna just plop down a couple inventors' huts. I don't really care where they wind up. I just want to get them down. We can delete them and move them around later because they're not that expensive. They're only 12 wood. So that's just something I want to get down right now so we can start getting some science points pretty quickly, because what I want to unlock is going to be this triple lodge here. So the triple lodge will store 9 total beavers for a house. So you're going to get 3 beaver families in each one, basically. And as with the double lodge, the door is up on the 2nd floor, so we'll just need to build platforms and stuff, but we can do all that when we're designing. And I think those just take logs. So all the houses just take logs. So once we are able to get some stairs down to here, and a couple more beavers, because we'll need that as well, I'll just turn all of this into what I want it to be, and it's going to be lovely. So I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and delete this because after the dry season, it's not going to be that useful to us anyway. We're going to go ahead and path over here. Let's go straight across just like that. Put a stair up there. Perfect. And there's no great spot for us to get down. It's going to involve a lot of platforms, and we don't have the science to unlock more, so I guess we'll just go ahead and, oops, I don't really want to put one there. Where is delete? We'll get that and that. So I'm thinking we'll probably start the stairs right here. So we'll path over to right here. Something like that. I'm going to get a platform here and here. And then we'll start working our stairs on down. So I guess I did put those in the right spot. Oh well, only a couple seconds there, not a big deal. Perfect. So our beavers will start working on that in between everything. I don't know why I paused it, but I did. And there's an autosave. Alrighty, and these are coming along wonderfully. So I'm gonna just increase priority on these 2 real quick, because once I get the power cables in here, I won't need the pathways. So if I can just get going on these, I can delete the pathways. And just because I do need to connect that right there, as well as that. Looking at this little thing here, I'm going to make this a T connection, just to make my life easier when I try to bring that one. Let me see. When I try to bring this one straight down, I can do that and then put a corner there. Perfect. Alrighty. And I think I might also just potentially just put a stick of dynamite in here real quick just to get this flooded. So that way this is always going to stay a little extra greener. But it's also not super important, so we'll see. we'll see what I wind up doing. Righty, and that's as far as we can get with the trees, so that's not a big deal. I'm actually going to just go ahead and mark this for a tree cutting area, just in case any trees wind up growing to full size. We'll just get them cut real quick. I will just toss down a random lumberjack flag, so that way somebody can start living in there. And we are good to go. So we have 3 children right now, and a total of 47 beavers. So once those 3 grow up, they should wind up inhabiting the inventors' huts first. I think that is the next stuff, unless I have some haulers somewhere. Nope, that is full. So they might even go to the water pump, but I don't think they get employed there if they can't reach the water, because I think the game will only employ them in that if it's something that can actually be used, as opposed to just them sitting around and doing nothing. Food-wise, we are good. We have about 3,100 food. So that is fantastic. I'm just going to leave the farms as is. There's no need to expand, at least for right now. In the future, obviously, we will need to do something as we expand our colony, but we're pretty steadily increasing on the amount of food that we have. And the logs as well. The logs, the only thing that's holding us back is just the storage, but we're not really going to be going through anything that's going to be much more than like 800 logs, at least not for a while. And while I was messing around with a couple other things, especially in this area, I did notice this is the same height. This little plateau here is the same height as this. So we could even feasibly put some water pumps on here, just because it will be able to get a little bit more, especially in the dry season. So just something we're thinking about. I know I spent a lot of wood on all of these, but just food for thought, I guess. And here we are at our campfire. They're hanging out, having a great time, as you would expect. And I think just because we have quite a few beavers now, I'm going to build a rooftop terrace for them. So this is basically the same concept as the campfire. It satisfies their social life. It just gives them an extra space to go. And this needs to be built on top of a roof. It only takes 15 logs, so it should be done right about now. It looks like, waiting on one more beaver. There we go. So this is what it looks like, just little tables and chairs, what looks like a lantern. So they'll just chill out there when they're either children, as this one is, or if they're not working, or at night or something like that. So yeah, so that is super exciting. And I'm actually going to, just because I don't really need this anymore, I'm going to go ahead and delete this lumber mill and this power wheel. It got us this far, so I am very appreciative of that, but there's no need for it when we have all of this down here, which isn't getting power currently, so we do need the windmills, I guess, which I could start working on in the middle of things. No, I can't, because I don't have the science points. Where did all of my beavers go? I had a couple that should have been employed places. Let me see. No one is going into an adventurer's hut. That is strange. I apparently had a lot more openings than I thought I did. Oh, they're going in here. I'm going to pause all these. So I stand corrected with my earlier statement about them not going into these water pumps, because apparently they do. So again, these aren't pumping anything, so there's no need for them to be just sitting around in there. And I have one extra, so I'll just put you as a hauler down there. And now I have 4 inventors' huts going, so our science output is going to be, quadrupled. So we're going to be getting 12 science every however many seconds, as opposed to the 3. So we'll be unlocking stuff a lot quicker right now. And what was this? This was 120, so we're super close to that. We'll get going, and it's about a minute or two after daylight comes up. And this cannot be built because that is done So that is my bad. So we're going to set this to a high priority right here. And we are also going to delete. Let's do these two to start, just so I don't put down too many. So we'll get the power shafts going there and there. Our beavers will be able to build in that. And once that's done, we'll start getting the rest of this connected up. But drought is over. We're down to 180 water. I wasn't paying too much attention to that, which I probably should have been, but no real concerns there. And this is going to continue to just fill up. You can see how much it went down. It was like half a block higher at the start of the season, or the drought rather. So that should fill up, and once it does, we'll start employing some beavers in here. And I will actually open these two up now. And yeah, you can see just how empty all of these are. These were all pretty much full going into it, but now they're just about empty. So, oh, and perfect. Stairs are good for down here. So I'm going to delete these pathways real quick, just because I don't want them to be able to reach down here to start building. So let me just make sure. I guess they can still. What if I delete these as well? Let's see. Can you still reach? No, you can't. Wonderful. So as long as I don't build anything right up against the wall, we're going to be perfect. So for housing, this is going to cost $250. So I guess we'll wait a second or two for that. But I do have the windmill unlocked. So I would love to go with a large windmill, but this takes 1400 science. Also gears and paper, so we're a ways away from that. But I can definitely get started with a couple of these small ones. So the small windmills produce 120 power, and you can place them 3 blocks apart. So we can get nice little, I guess just the 4 of them. It's not the end of the world. And it looks like all of these water wheels are spinning as well, which is fantastic. So let's delete that. We'll go ahead and get a power cable in there. And then we just have 2 more to place, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of power. But you can see already we have 720 power going into our system here, and only 320 of it is able to be used. So that's only going to go up as well once we get our windmills in. And just for the sake of not having to destroy anything, I'm going to just have all of the power connect into this block right here. So we're going to set up a 4-way connector there. Oops. And a straight one there, and there. Let me just pause this real quick so they don't build something I don't want them to. This needs to be a T connection. All right, and we're just going to prioritize a couple of these just to make sure they wind up getting built, because I don't want to leave stuff, I don't want to leave the corner where they can't reach it or something, but everything else they should be able to reach, and I don't really care what order they do it in. I just don't want to have to destroy a bunch of stuff just to get to one little tiny corner piece. Alrighty, and let me set this up 1 as well. Wonderful. Perfect. So that is good. We already have 3 of those built. This is not connected, right? I knew that. Let me delete that and place another one. Again, this is just going to be temporary. I don't know why I did 2. But the lumberjack flag is just going to be temporary because I just want to make sure that we don't have any tree growth encroaching on our stuff here, which it looks like we already do. But that's not a big deal. And with the windmills, you can see we're already up to 151 science as well, which is fantastic because we only have 100 more until we can unlock the house that we're looking for in order to start building that. So let me connect these as well. Perfect. Delete these couple paths. Get that connected. And again, we're just going to give this a high priority because if this one gets built, they're not going to be able to build that one. So this water wheel looks like it actually doesn't need it, but redundant power is never a bad thing. I just want to make sure everything's connected because otherwise we could run into issues. And yeah, it is annoying to try to delete a whole bunch of your power supply just for the sake of that stuff. So how is this doing back here? Ooh, we're almost done. So I'll employ that one there. And I think I'm going to just make a couple paths here. I'm going to set all of this to be demolished on this island. There we go. And then I'll probably just build one or two water pumps on this island as well. And then we'll just save these for once our water level gets up a bit higher, which is going to take a while. And also our population has a need for more water. But I'm thinking about actually using this island here for a lot of our water storage. I will obviously keep some up here just because that's where the beavers are, and I'll get some down with the houses. But I think if I just turn most of this island into water storage, we'll be pretty good, because I can't use this island for too much else. I don't think I can build too far into it, at least in terms of employable jobs, or employable buildings rather. But a water tower does not need anything. It just needs beavers to be able to reach it. And you have nothing to do in range. That is fine. You can hang out there. I do not mind you just chilling and getting paid to do nothing. Okay, and we do have the 250 science. So I'm going to get started on all of this. This is going to take me a little while to get it the way I want. So I will be back in 1 second with the layout, just because I don't want to bore you guys to death with all this. So I will see you soon. Welcome back. I am pretty excited with how things wound up turning out here. So basically what I did was I set all of this up. They did build a house here. But I got all this set up. I put some paths and platforms out. These are all triple lodges here. So each of these, again, can hold a total of 9 beavers. So I'm going to definitely be increasing my capacity versus this right here. And I left this little gap in the middle here because there's a monuments tab, which I believe both of these are a 3x3, at least off the top of my head. And they're going to give buffs to the beavers. And if I do that near their houses, they're pretty much always going to have it because they're going to leave for work. They're going to come home, it's going to recharge, and they're going to leave again. So I'll get another one over here once I'm able to get these trees cut, which, thinking of that, I'm going to go ahead and get this set up here. Just like that. That's just temporary until we get all these trees cut. So it's not going to be living with us forever. And then there is also something I'm planning on doing down here. It's called the temple. That's either going to go up here if it'll fit, otherwise down here. And that will just boost their spirituality, which again will give them a buff. And I want to get that near the house, that way they have some time to get there. So yeah, all in all, with everything we wound up doing today, I think we had a pretty successful episode. So I'm going to go ahead and call this a day. So thank you so much for everybody watching. I really, really appreciate it. I hope all of you have a wonderful day and or night wherever you're at. And always remember to do something kind.